I am with you wherever you are. There is no escape from love. There is no east or west for peace and freedom. No matter where you go, it is always with you. Satsang is the reminder that you are home, that you are the home itself. So you can't return back from satsang. It is your nature. This experience cannot be forgotten. That which can be forgotten is forgotten by the mind. But the mind has no access to this experience. But be careful and vigilant. You will keep the problems most dear to you, and so your old friends, your wicked habits, the asuras, will come back and invite you to suffer again. They are very strong, and so you must be. Break these old habits, and you are free. So only travel with those in the same boat. Only associate with those in the same direction. Go to truth at any cost. Always, always keep quiet. When the circumstances of vasanas arise, so will the vasanas, no matter how dormant they are, and especially if you are quiet. A bullet kills once, but a vasana kills again and again. So vigilantly inquire. Expectations are illusions, so don't run after them, and don't get involved in anger, lust, and greed either. Just don't involve yourself with them. Keeping quiet and content is the best weapon. Joy will also destroy mind and the demons. Once you bury them, do not dig them up again. You are responsible for your family and friends, so this satsang has to continue. Once you know the truth, you must share it. I was staying in Ramana ashram before the partition of the country in 1947. One day in the middle of July, someone asked me on which side of the river Ravi I was from. I told him it was much beyond this river. Then he told me about the partition crisis of the country, which I didn't know too much about, since I neither had time for reading newspapers nor for politics. He said that in the middle of the next month, the country would be partitioned, and so my family, who was living between Lahore and Peshawar, would be massacred if I did not save them. I told them that I had forgotten everybody and that it had all been a dream. Parents, family, children, country, all of it was a dream that was over now. This was how strong my detachment was and how strong it had to be. This man told the Maharshi what I had said, and as we went out on his morning walk together, the Maharshi asked me, "Why don't you go and look after your family?" I said, "When I came here, I had my wife and parents and children. But when you looked at me, everything was finished, and now you are my only relation, and no one else in the world. If you call it a dream, why are you afraid of a dream? It is better if you go into the dream and look after your wife and relations. Why be afraid of the dream? Your dream hand is quite safe in the mouth of the dream tiger. Like this, live in the world and call it a dream. Don't be afraid and work as you work in the dream. The dream is a dream and nothing in it is real. But you, as their son, are also in the dream. So let the dream son go to the dream country and save the dream parents in the dream." So in this way he defined the dream for me. Then Maharshi said, "I am with you wherever you are." With this sentence he gave me the teaching. He is the I am, which is with me wherever I am. What could I say to him? He was telling me to leave. So I prostrated to him and collected the dust from under his feet, went thrice around him and left. I went to Punjab and through several miraculous events rescued my family from all the butchering. This is the benefit of staying with the teacher. The teacher not only gives you freedom, but also looks after whatever you need. When I was back up north, I saw that the train for Lahore was empty except for Muslims shouting, "Kill the Hindus," and a group of Hindus huddled together for safety. So the thought comes into my mind to go over and sit with the Muslims, even though I would much rather have been with the Hindus. I even had an Om tattooed on the back of my hand, and my ears were pierced like only the Hindus had them. So who gave me this thought to sit with them? I was even shouting with the Muslims. So with this Savior, Om, on my hand, and the blessings of my teacher, I arrived safely, while every other Hindu was taken from the train and killed. When I arrived in my hometown, no Hindus were there. Even the Tonga, the horse cart that I took, was a Muslim Tonga. The place where I lived was a pure Hindu colony, Guru Nanakpura, and so to not raise any suspicion with the Tonga driver, I told him to go to a Muslim colony nearby, Islampura. From there I walked to my house and rang the bell, but nobody answered. Finally, I heard my father's voice from the rooftop asking who I was. "I am your son." "Don't you even recognize my voice?" I yelled back. "Why have you come?" he asked. "How did you come? Are the trains still working? You should take all the relatives out of here on the trains." The district magistrate, who was a Muslim and a very good friend of mine while I was in the army, protected us in his own home and helped to arrange our travel back to India. Our houses had already been taken by refuge Muslims from Amritsar who had their women taken from them by the Sikhs. Everybody in the family, almost 40 people, made it out safely by train, whereas most families were partially or totally destroyed. Eventually, my parents were flown out by the DM, because by the time they came, trains were no longer running. This is the grace of the Master. Nobody could harm us, and he took care of everything. "Papaji, is it okay to leave Lucknow and go to the west? Do you think I'm ready?" Yes, there is no east and west. This is only on the map. There is no east and west for the Master. Wherever you go is the presence of the teacher, and you will feel it. If you have surrendered, it is the responsibility of the teacher to guide you at every step. I am afraid of changing back to my old ways when I return to Denmark. When you return to Denmark, how do you expect that you will change? When you came to Lucknow, you expected something to change, and so it has. But you are a different person from what you were when you first came. So don't expect any change when you return. Stay always in satsang, and do not have any fear that you will return to the previous state. You can never change. This moment has offered you silence, quietness, and happiness. So do not have fear. You will have satsang in Denmark. Tell them the story of what happened here. I have had experiences, but this experience can go back to Denmark. It has to stay with you. The experience is that you are free. You have to stay with it. How can it go anywhere? I am free will remain always with you when you have an experience of freedom. You have not to keep this experience, you are to be that. Otherwise, it is all just imagination and theory. How come that after the revelation of emptiness, a character can still arise and think of itself and the world as real and meaningful? After seeing what I have, how can I even think that coming and going are possible? Who speaks about emptiness? Who is aware of this emptiness? That person is your own Atman, which is not empty and not full. It is aware of everything, emptiness and samsara, and nothing is trouble because it all comes out of that. This word of imagination is its own production, and so there is no difference between samsara and nirvana. The waves rise from the ocean and thinks that she is independent because she has a name and a form and movement. The ocean doesn't mind this and knows that all the waves will rise, play, and fall, and again become ocean. What is the substance that has never arisen nor fallen? That is water. The water is always the same, though it may take the differing forms of ocean or waves. The water is observing everything rise and fall, even the ocean. Why, in the light of this emptiness, does Papaji's acceptance and rejection still seem important? As if I am something that needs something from something else. This I, which needs something from someone else, is the egotistical I, which has been separated for generations from its home, which it no longer knows. This I travels from one incarnation to another, trying to find its true parental house. She needs someone to tell her to go home, and once there she will know that she has never left. But if she doesn't go home, she can wander for millions of years through samsara. For the billions on earth, only a few eyes will want to return home. All other eyes will wander and make relationships with other eyes. You have come to luck now, and now you know who you are. You are forever in my heart. Stay as such. When you go back to your country, see the circumstances that you are placed in and react accordingly. You won't forget the glimpse of peace and love. No, it is the tendency of mind to create problems and doubts. There are no problems and no doubts, so don't think about them. I want to thank you for everything you have given me in the last 4 months and for all your blessings and love. Don Juan once picked up a small stone and flung it onto the mountain. Then he said, "Look, Carlos, what once was a pebble in my hand has become a mountain. Likewise, you have come to satsang, the truth, and have become truth and love. This satsang is the river Janavi, which purifies you when you touch her. Those who have a dip in this river become one with her, and they will return a different person. You came here for only a couple of days, but stayed for months because here, truth and love are flowing. Wherever there is satsang, where a teacher is speaking to those who need this beauty and truth, that is the place to stay. I will give you the name Janavi, that which blesses and purifies everything. She relieves all of the pains and sins which people carry for lifetimes. Just touch her. Immediately they are washed away. She is so blessing and caring, she is the mother. And whoever swims in her becomes eternal. Like this, bless everybody that comes and enters your heart." How is it possible to remain this shining ocean of love in all circumstances? With all the stress in my life in Vienna, it is hard to stay as this. This is the question that most people ask me after having the beautiful experience, and I am happy that you are here for an explanation. First of all, you want this experience to stay with you all the time. This also means that you lose it at times. Pure awareness is impossible to lose, but it is the bliss that leaves when there is stress. When you want to keep this experience all the time, it means that you want to bring this experience into time. Why should you bring this experience into time? When this experience occurred, it was beyond time. Anything that happens in time is worthless. Anything that you get in time, happiness or peace or a person that you love, within this time it will disappear someday. So why do you have this desire that this timelessness should come into time just to oblige you? If you don't desire to come into time, it will be an eternal experience. To make this eternal, do not give rise to the desire to bring the timelessness into time. Time means death. unhappiness, past and mind. There is no difference between time and mind. Let it be as it is. You want to jump into the ocean, and once you jump, there is no return. When the river discharges into the ocean, it becomes the ocean and stays as the ocean. It is only that the river has lost its form and name. Remove the name, consciousness has no name. Remove the name and form, and what will remain? What do you see? Nothing, pure being. This nothing is always nothing, not sometimes something and sometimes nothing. Is it clear now? It is clear. There will be no difference when you return to Austria or when you are in Lucknow, because these are only names. Any name is in time, but consciousness is not in time. Very good. No work will interfere with this peace. It won't be a hindrance to you. Don't fear, there will be no problem. You are involved with your work as you once were, because then it was your ego which thought it was doing all the work. Now you know that there is something beyond even your capacity to understand, beyond ego, from where your ego arises, that is doing all the work. Stay in this source. See that the work is being done by your body, which is activated by something else, and you simply observe it all happening. Turn your face in the reverse gear to where the energy comes to even close your finger. Go beyond and look to the reservoir of your thinking and identify yourself as that. Then all will go on by the grace of the Supreme Power. Turn your face to the Supreme, not towards an object, which is not permanent. Turn your face beyond the objects to where the energy is coming. Then you will know that nothing can interfere with your work, and it will go on as it is. If there is anything that you received here that can be lost, let it be lost. You have not come here to achieve what can be lost, but to know that which you will never lose. Don't aspire for what can be lost. What cannot be lost, what is eternal, is seated in the cave of your heart, shining like a diamond. Look within. It is just so hard to leave Lucknow. How can you ever leave Lucknow? You cannot leave this luck when you are in now, and wherever you go, you are in now itself. In now there is no luck. There is happiness. There is love. And there is beauty. You can't get out of it. Luck now will never leave you. That is what people of Lucknow have been saying for millennia. Once you are in Lucknow, you can never leave it. Let the body go, don't care about its movements. What will be immovable will be with me. You can go anywhere you like. All these planets belong to you. The whole cosmos, all these millions of planets are just a small corner of yourself. Where will you go? You can't get out of it. You cannot leave me because you are in my heart. Now I feel my leaving is like a leaf of a tree falling gently, beautifully, and quietly, sinking into the embracing ocean. I bow in gratitude and take you in my heart. Very good, very nice. When the leaf falls from the tree, it has no intention to fly northward or southward. It has nothing to do. It flies with the wind of grace. You are a leaf falling from the tree of ego. Now you have no relation with the tree, and so you are falling, and whichever direction the wind blows, it will take you with it. I am very happy that you have done your job and are now returning. Thank you. Many people say that my stay is too short, but it only took one moment. How can I best remain aware? Is commitment the way? No, no commitment. You don't need to commit to anything. Just feel and trust I am what I am. There is no commitment. You are as you are. You have been as you were. You will be as you will be. This is a trust in you. I am what I am, not in something else. It is very easy. It is very natural. You are not to become anything or unbecome anything, but be as you are. Even if you felt incomplete as you were leaving and felt that you didn't get anything, it will not have been a waste of time. If you say you didn't get anything, you are right, because I don't give anything and you don't get anything. No time in satsang is a waste of time. This will work someday even if you have not felt benefited. It will work. Nobody can be disappointed. When they are ready, all the truth spoken of here will rush into their mind. I feel very complete, and now I see her face everywhere. When you fall in love with someone, you see the face of that one everywhere. And when the love is very deep, whatever you see is your beloved. And you even become that. Then identification as the beloved takes place. Even my feet don't touch the ground. This is also true. You will think that you are flying because you feel no weight. I am very happy for your visit here. Thank you. Do you have to practice to get the effortless state? I'm returning to Brazil soon, and I wonder what meditation you advise me to do there. When you are in Brazil, keep your hands active as you work and your thought on me. Keep your thought within. Keep your thought on your heart. Keep your thought on your heart and your hands on your work. Keeping your thought on me means thinking, who am I? Along with this, you should work. Mind can stay in only one place at a time. If you draw it into the heart, it can't see anything but heart. Keep it here constantly, and you will see that it can never escape. Constantly keep your mind on your heart. When people leave Lucknow, they often ask for advice. My only advice for you when you return home is to keep quiet. You can speak to your friends about this quietness and tell them how to keep quiet and where you picked up this advice. That is enough. I am the dust compared to you. I am not worthy to teach them how to be silent. Then simply keep quiet. If they ask you what happened in Lucknow, simply keep quiet. Then let them think whatever they want to think. I'm afraid that when I leave you to go back to Germany, I will fall back into my old habits. Don't fear your old habits. All of the munchin will be changed when you go back. You will see everything differently than before, and you will not look the same. Don't worry. As you go into the world, always remember what you love most in your life, and don't touch anything else. Do this for one moment, and this love which you have ignored will rise to the surface. But unlike other things on the surface which come and go, this love is the depth itself in which there is no rising or falling. Just look at it now, and that is all you have to do. Don't fall in love with the wave because they will not last. They move about and are soon finished. Don't touch anything that appears because it will soon disappear. Look within to where there is no name or form, and you will know who you are. Freedom. I feel it is time to go into the world with this diamond you have given me and test it on samsara. Whatever the teacher has, he hands over to one when he thinks he is ready. The guru always hands over everything to his student, knowing that he deserves it. I will tell you a story about this. There was a saint in China who was about to announce his successor, so he held the contest. The disciple that would come up with the best gatha, the best statement of the Dharma, would win the robes and begging bowl of the saint. So all through the day and night the learned swamis of the ashram were writing their gathas on a board in the main hall. There was a very humble man in this ashram who was illiterate and was always working, pounding the paddy, but late at night, when all his work was finished, he walked into the hall and asked what all the excitement was about. "The guru will give his robes and begging bowl to the one who writes the best gatha," he was told. He asked, "What is the best gatha so far?" They told him, "A very wise Swami has said, keep the mirror of the mind clean, so no dust will alight, then you will be free." Then this humble paddy pounder simply replied, "Where there is no mirror, where will the dust alight?" This gatha was written in with the others. Around midnight the saint came to look at the gathas, and when he saw the gatha of the paddy pounder, he knew he had found his successor. So he went to him and gave him his robes and begging bowl, and told him to run as fast as he could, all through the night toward the frontiers, because if the swamis of the ashram found him, they would kill him. And so he left. The next morning the guru was found naked, and the swamis were furious and soon figured out what had happened. A few hours later they had caught up with the paddy pounder and accused him of stealing the guru's only possessions. He replied, "You can have this begging bowl and this old robe, but you can never take the light that my guru has given me." They could not steal what the real gift teaching was, because the Sadguru dwells in your heart, and in the heart of all the beings of the universe. Don't try to clean the mirror, because it will always get dirty again. There is no mirror and no dust to alight. Get rid of arrogance that you are not self and that there is other. Better to throw the mirror away and realize that all is self. This realization is the diamond and a gift from the Guru. Now you need not test this diamond. You will be the same and the world will be the same. Now just don't be afraid, because there is no difference between samsara and nirvana. Go afresh and face all the circumstances that present themselves. I'm worried that I will lose the contact I have with you when I leave. This fear is not real, as you will experience. These four walls around us now have nothing to do with our peace. You are this peace, and you can't gain it or lose it. Anything that you do gain, you will lose, because it is a material gain only. Don't worry and go wherever you like. Depend on the mother, for she will take care of you. You should go back and continue this work there. It doesn't take much. Devote just 5 minutes to yourself when you rise in the morning and before you go to sleep. Then you will get what you want. I have seen no results in people who have spent decades in Himalayan caves, but this will work. Just have a strong desire for it, and nothing will stop you. Think of your beloved 24 hours a day. With this constant remembrance, you will be with your beloved and not different from that. How can I serve you while in Europe? What can I do for you? What you can do is always look behind you to see who is following you as you walk down the street, and who never leaves you, even when you are in sleep. Who is aware of all your activities, whether you are awake, dreaming, or sleeping. Find this person who gives you the strength to move your tongue whenever you speak. When you see, find the one who is behind the retina of the eye. Do this for me, and you will stay in touch with your own self. I feel a strong urge to go back to my family and share this with them. I feel I have neglected them. No, you have not neglected them. You will bring them the peace and love of all beings. This they never told you because they were never told. You can take this gift to them. I want to share time with them while it is still possible. Is this a good idea, or am I lost in illusion? It is a good idea. You are a good son of noble parents. Only noble parents give birth to a son who will attend satsang. It is so rare for this to happen. Maybe 1 in 20 million. I found that when I returned to the West after being with you 2 years ago, that I tended not to engage in activities very much and wasn't interested in the world. When you return from satsang back home to your country, it is quite natural that you are not as active as the people around you. You're going to be a different person. But you were working after you met Ramana. You had an awakening, and yet you went on working and supporting your family. This didn't happen to me. Yes, I worked as I was with Ramana, but it didn't make any difference. I only visited him on Sundays and worked the rest of the week. I would leave Saturday afternoon, get there at night, and spend all Sunday there with him and return to Madras every Monday morning. Then I would attend to the business of my office from 10 a.m. to Saturday afternoon again. Maharshi never advised people to stay on and do nothing. He didn't tell them to neglect their life and their work. You are the absolute that, and you have nothing to do from your own initiative. That will take care of you. That is your own self within. It will guide you if you surrender your will to its will. Don't think you are doing anything yourself because self uses karma to govern all. You can't get rid of your karma, and you are led to do whatever it leads you to do. You can't stop karma. What about the responsibilities which occur as appearances in that? The responsibilities which you speak about are from the ego mind. Actually, you do not have any responsibility. What comes, face it, and do according to the command of self. Then you will not bear the fruits of activities which you are performing because you will be that. That will be responsible for your activities. Keep up this experience by always meditating with the astral body, not the physical body. Let the body within the body meditate. This will instruct the physical body how to act according to the routines of work and responsibilities. Everything seems to be so dreamlike after meeting you. Before coming to Lucknow, everything was so real to you, but now it is a dream. This is the lesson you get when you return home. Things seem real only when the mind told you so, but when mind is not present, all this is a dream. So few experience this reality as a dream. Everything looks real when you dream. A tiger which pounces on you in your dream seems very real, and it is real during the dream. Even the dreamer seems real. But when you wake, you are not afraid of the tiger because you know it never existed. It was only a dream tiger. So it is with everybody. They are all afraid of this dream because nobody understands that it is not real. So whatever comes, understand that it is all dream. Don't be afraid of the dream tigers. So should I just stay home and not come to Lucknow anymore and live life as it comes? Yes, live life as it comes. If it brings you to Lucknow, then return to Lucknow. Live life as it comes. But don't be involved in it. Let it come. Don't reject it. If nothing comes, keep contented and sit quiet. This is a true teaching. Still, some doubts and notions and unworthiness seem to arise. Doubts and notions belong to the past. Now no more doubts or notions will touch you. Just laugh at them when they arise, grace knows nothing about unworthiness or worthiness. Throw a flower or spit in the ocean and it responds the same. Unworthiness is just mind baggage. Unworthiness is only your ego postponing its destruction. The self doesn't mind that the mind goes to Europe because Europe is in the self. Go anywhere, and you will be taken care of. The problems arise when the ego takes the burden of controlling itself. Identify with the self, and the mind will go nowhere. I came here to Lucknow in the first place because I heard you laugh on a tape. I love your laugh. Here we laugh for no reason, and it is fine, but in the West, if you laugh like this, they consider you to be not sane or on drugs or both. Once when I was in Spain giving meditation classes, somebody jumped up and ran forward to kiss my feet. He started to jump up and down, laughing and saying, "I am God, I am God." Then he ran out. To say that I am God is fine in India, after all, it is the truth. But to say this in the West is not acceptable. The next day I found out how unacceptable it was. This man was dancing and laughing ecstatic bliss when the police came and detained him long enough for his wife to come and pick him up. And you know what she did? She drove him straight to a mental institution and filed for divorce on grounds that he had gone insane. On the contrary, after having tasted what true reality is, this man was probably one of the most sane people in all of Europe at that time. He had no expectation or ideas of reality. He just was reality. So I visited this man in the insane asylum and taught him how to live in society after this realization, and soon after he was released. This is my experience about the social laws in the West about laughing. You go to Holland or any land, you'll be okay. Thank you. I haven't found a niche in society where I can both work and express myself. You need not express yourself. Just remain in innocence. Keep your life in innocence. Whatever comes for your livelihood, accept it. Don't have any desire for this or that. Children don't care about tomorrow. If they are given a sweet, they eat it immediately. Like this, what is given, eat it and finish it off. What is your work now? I am a lawyer. A liar, I see. This is innocence. If a liar says that he is a liar, is it the truth or a lie? Nobody would say that they are a liar, so you must not be a liar. So how to live in the world like an innocent child? What has been happening so far is beyond words. Anything you can sense, you can describe. But what you cannot describe is freedom from the words, freedom from mind, freedom from intellect. Everything is describable, but that beyond words is what you really are. But you don't believe it. Everything you see is an object which begins and ends, and it is not worthwhile. When you see something beyond description, it is your own self, the I. The world is illusion. Under every wave is ocean. Under every name is substratum. Under every appearance, this is you. If you do not forget who you are, this appearance is the cosmic dance. The unnameable has given you this shape to play, to love, to know thyself. Don't forget this. Narayana, the creation of the illusion. The ocean does not forget that it is a wave, but the wave forgets that it is an ocean. This is why there is manifestation. For sake of play, this forgetfulness arises. The world is only for celebration. Manifestation is just a cosmic drama to be enjoyed. There is only play, and it is non-existent and continues because whatever you think, so it becomes. This manifestation was created by you and will be destroyed by you. The first thought is I. Then arises my, which is ego. And then comes all manifestation. Time, mind, manifestation is projected out of I, which is itself the projection required to manifest the play. Undress yourself of these things and find where I rises from. You are Shiva if you do not project I, and your Shakti is the projection by which you play. Consciousness is the source of this play, of the mind, and that is all. The ocean cannot stay alone, and so the notion of wave is created. When waves rise, ocean loses nothing, and when waves fall, ocean gains nothing. Samsara, the illusion, Maya, the play, are the waves on the ocean of nirvana. Waves are not separate from the ocean. Rays are not separate from the sun. You are not separate from existence, consciousness, bliss. This is a reflection of that. What is creation and how does this illusion arise? In the beginning, consciousness is alone, like a still lake. Then a ripple arises, and this is name and form. From consciousness, the thought arises, I am consciousness. This is the I sense. Then desire arises, and this is ego. The ripple thinks that it is separate, and this creates limitations which are time and space. The ripple is a blink of thought, and this is ego rising from consciousness. But ripples are not different from the lake, from water. Forget this, and you are in trouble. The senses rise, and then sense objects, and all of manifestation is created to play with you and delude you. When you say that all is imagination, it is no longer imagination because you are awake. Awaken from this dream called manifestation. Don't go away from yourself, and the ego will not rise. Objects are not other than senses, which are not other than body, which is not other than mind, which is not other than I. Truly, this creation is not other than your own reflection because this I is consciousness. Find the source of this I with absolute vigilance and stop thinking, for thought is the world process itself. Is the world that we see the totality of the universe? There are many planes of existence. The ones above ours are occupied by very beautiful beings, and on the ones below, the people are subhuman and very ugly. I have visited many planes where people are very handsome and you can see through their bodies. Other planes below made me very afraid because they had half faces and other gruesome deformities. Next time, we will become gods if we don't have moksham here, and then we will eventually come back to this plane because this is the only place where you can win freedom. Even gods must be born here if they want freedom. Consciousness takes any shape that it thinks, just as gold takes any shape of jewelry and remains gold. Consciousness creates the universe without losing its nature, just as an ocean creates waves while remaining as ocean. So there is no multiplicity and no unity. It just is. You are not aware of this, and this is why a rope looks like a snake. Though upon close investigation there is no snake. The same is for the eye. Upon close investigation, there is no I, and this universe disappears into emptiness, into consciousness. Never did anything arise. This is the ultimate truth. Think this because as you think, so it becomes. Break this snake's fangs. Know thyself. Dwell in your own self and do not look at what is creator and what is created. Simply abide in your own self. The whole world in all its forms come from the source in which there is nothing. The thought arises in the source. Let me be multiplied, and existence unfolds with past, present, and future. For 25,000 years the Vedas have been saying this. Ek koham bahosham. Let me be multiplied. The purpose of this creation is for self to love and enjoy self. So the purpose of human birth is freedom. All form is sound and arises from sound. Any name that you utter will be form, but there is one sound which does not make any form. This unknown is the substratum of all that is known. The known will deceive you some day, so have friendship only with that which neither appears or disappears. Consciousness experiences infinite births and creations in a moment. These creations, these leelas, are neither real nor unreal. There really is no creation and no experiencer, and yet there are experiences and experiencers. This is a paradox only for mind because in consciousness there is no difference between object and subject. In this instant, inquire, who am I? And this inquiry will reveal itself to itself. Otherwise, creation will go on forever. Non-inquiry is the basis for creation, and inquiry is the basis of freedom, for the realization that your nature is Sat Chit Ananda. If our true nature is Sat Chit Ananda, knowledge, consciousness, bliss, why did we leave it to assume this bodily form? Why assume that you left it? This is foolish. This assumption itself is the creation of the illusion that I have just described to you. Who told you that you are not Sat Chit Ananda? It is only this assumption which will cause endless rebirths. Why don't you have the conviction that you never left this home? Why don't you have the conviction that I am Sat Chit Ananda, that I am free? Because it doesn't feel that I am free. Why not have the convictions that I am not born and I will never die? What you think is what happens. So think of a better reality like I am that alone, if you are going to think at all. Is God as self and God as Leela the same? Both are the same. What is the difference between the ocean and the waves? Where there is ocean, there must be waves, and where there are waves, there must be ocean. Where there is ocean, there must be the play of waves on the surface which eventually returns and settles back in. Say, I am the Leela, and enjoy it. If you say that there is self and there is Leela, then you are not speaking from self, from experience. There is no difference and no non-difference. There is nothing in anything. There is only self. Unenlightenment is a game, Leela. It is a game to be enjoyed, but remember, death, suffering, pain are the taxes of sense pleasures. Better to be free of all these taxes. Realize freedom. Let death and suffering happen to the body. Play with the crocodile or samsara. Nothing can touch you, but don't end up in its stomach. Play as freedom. Maya, the Shakti of the illusion. It is a dark path at twilight, and you see a deadly snake lying along the side of the path. Suddenly someone comes from the other direction, and as they walk by the snake, they ask you what you are frightened of. You tell them all about the poisonous snake that they just stepped over. Then they tell you and show you that it is just a rope. The snake does not exist and never did exist, and yet it manages by the power of illusion and superimposition to conceal the reality, the rope. As the concept of a snake conceals the rope, so Maya conceals the Atman. Atman is everything, pure consciousness, eternally free and blissful. But imagination conceals this with non-existent name and form, with superimposed subject and object. Whatever you think is, whatever you imagine to be, is superimposed over reality, creating a transient dream reality. As the concealer of reality, this is the Shakti Avarana Devi. As the projector of illusion, this is the Shakti Maya Devi. The incredible power of Maya comes from Atman only. All name and form is this Maya. When you see this name and form, you miss the substance substratum. If you see the ring, you do not see the gold. Name and form dissolving into void becomes being. Name and form will not provide happiness. Wherever there is name and form, there is something concealed, and that is the happiness. The waking state is a film starring the ego, directed by karma and produced by Maya. Even the waking state is in the dream state. Reality is always real, and unreality is never real. You only dream this illusion when you are sleeping, so wake up. The snake is always non-existent. Freedom is when the illusoriness of the illusion is removed. Doubt is the illusory wall between you and freedom. Stop confirming the reality of the illusion by running after it. Expectation is the running. Maya is the imagination that never ends and never exists. Her projected Leela comes from the inside, and for the sake of her play, knowledge of reality is elusive. The world is subject-object. To know reality, find what this subject-object is projected on. Find the screen which is not touched by anything. Like this, contemplation of self terminates illusions of false appearance. What is not here and now is not real and not worth striving for. Anything that can go away is not worth clinging to. Reality is always here, so don't cling to anything, or Maya has fooled you again. Why does Maya, this world illusion, exist? Because you need her. You have desires that you want to fulfill, and so you need her to fulfill them. But you are walking through the burning sand after a river which is only a mirage, because she doesn't exist. It is just your desire which creates her. Very few will stop walking and turn their face within to the real stream, the stream of nectar. Can you physically prove that reality is an illusion? Concepts cannot be proven, and that is all that illusions and reality are. Illusion and reality do not exist as the river doesn't exist in the mirage. Don't leave the steady well of spring water. Only those who do and go to the desert will see a mirage and suffer this illusion. The truth cannot be proven or experienced. Everybody is involved in this illusion, but they don't know who she is. Everybody likes her, and so they are not happy and peaceful, but are suffering instead. Learn from Kabir to be happy and eternally in bliss. He sings to Maya, "You are a great deceiver. Nobody recognizes you, but I know who you are." You said that God helps all who come to him. You also said that you are God, and so I beg you, please, to destroy this illusion once and for all today, right now. Show me this illusion, and I will instantly burn it without using even a matchstick. But you have to show me. Show me this girlfriend because you want to decide something about her, not about you. I will take care of her whether she likes to be destroyed, or I can purify her so that, again, she will be with you. First of all, you should know the meaning of illusion. Illusion means Maya. Maya means that which does not exist. So how can I destroy that which does not exist? What is projected onto the screen is illusion. You don't have any awareness of the projection when you are engrossed in the physical pictures of the movie theater. In these pictures, some are happy and some are sad. Some die in the ocean and some have gone to the graveyard. You are so into these people on the screen that you become one with those who suffer and those who enjoy. This is the story of samsara. When the projection is over and another show is to be shown, you will see for a moment what the pictures have been played on. This screen is not tainted at all. She is not wet from the ocean and she is not burned by the fire. All these projections are not real. Only a few will know this and they will not come for the next show. But some people watch the same movie again and again. If you know that you are the screen and that all the projections are illusions, then only can you enjoy them. You will know that you cannot be tainted. On that screen that you are, this body appears. This body, whether male or female, needs the opposite body to play with. This is the story that is going on. It will not end. Simply stay quiet, and you will know that you have never been tainted because you have never been born. The one who is born and dies is only a concept. Knowing this, you will become very happy. This is the start of the romance with your own self. Wherever you are, speak this to people. In this play of Maya, what is the role of the human? Human birth is so rare because it is only in this birth that you can know that all is illusion. Within the human population, it is probably only 10 per billion who will make the strong decision for freedom. Among them, it is very rare that one wins the game of illusion. The truth is within. But you always look somewhere else in order to appease your tendency to go out after sense objects. But all of this is illusion. Know this now. Find where the illusion rises from. Find where this thought arises from. Then you will have found the love which always dwells within you. Then you will see the illusion of everything, including your own body. What appears and disappears is not real. Once you know it is illusion, you will separate yourself from it, and you are the one who has gone beyond the illusion. Like a mirage of a river in the desert. The ones who try to be fulfilled by this mirage will never be satisfied. They will just get into more and more trouble. Some people will know that this river is a mirage, and they don't go there. They know Maya appears but does not exist. When you know this, you must ask where peace and happiness is. This search will bring you to satsang. Is there a connection with outside circumstances and inner emotional states? Or is it all illusion? It is all illusion. Mind itself is illusion. Whatever you think is illusion. And so to remove the illusion, you should not think. I don't want you to practice this for years, but just for one instant, one blink of the eye, one breath. 1/2 of a breath, and then your problems will be solved. Is love an illusion? Love is not an illusion. In love, all illusion is lost. Where there is no illusion, then love arises. I would like a new name to remember this by. I will give you the name Madhu, which is honey, and I will tell you the story of why I am giving this name to you. Once a man was walking in a forest when he accidentally fell into a well. As he was falling, he caught hold of a creeper that was going down into the well, and he hung there. In the well below him there was also an alligator who was very hungry, and above him were 2 rats, one black and one white, who were gnawing on the creeper. Above the well was a tree in which there was a beehive that was dripping honey exactly into his mouth, which he started to enjoy. In this enjoyment, he forgot the rats and the crocodile. This is the story of Maya, of life. The man is hanging in the well of death. The crocodile is death itself, and the rats are day and night, the passing of time. The creeper is the individual's life which is being cut down by time. The honey is enjoyment which distracts us from death and time. This is the situation with this samsara, and we are all very happy. Don't allow the rat to cut your life down, and don't fall into the well in the first place. See where the next foot is falling. Be cautious in your life. It is better to go out, climb up the tree, and have the whole honeycomb, and be free of the well and its crocodile. This you must decide now. Otherwise the crocodile of death is waiting for you, and the rats continue to chew the vine. Nobody thinks that he should immediately climb up the creeper, even though it is a very short climb. Then he will enjoy the honey of happiness and bliss. So you take this image and keep it in front of you every day. This is the best teaching. Everybody must be aware of his own death. Nobody has ever avoided death because they wait and enjoy the honey drop by drop. Be free, and you will enjoy the nectar of life for the first time. Otherwise, the sensual pleasures are honey which keep all the people in the fear of the dark well that nobody ever comes out of. This is not just a story. It is a teaching. Is there a way of climbing up the creeper now? Yes, exactly. Now is the creeper and the way out. Give up all the tastes that are dropping and see that the rat is eating away your life. So if you are wise, jump out of the well. Everybody can do it. Don't wait like lazy men. Don't enjoy anything that will finish and which will land you in difficulty. So this thought you must decide. What is good for you? What will give you happiness? Is hanging on the creeper happiness? Few people will jump out of the world which is this well. Death is the crocodile. Life is the creeper. The rats are night and day passing on. Waiting is unwise. Wise people jump out as a Buddha did. He was sleeping with the beauty of the land, and he walked away at midnight. Very few people have done it. So many kings at the same time were sleeping with their queens, but we do not remember them. But 2,600 years have passed, and yet we remember him. Like this, everybody can become Buddha and wake up from the bed of his desires. Before satsang, you always say, "Let there be peace and love among all beings." "Let there be peace and love among all beings of the universe" is the declaration of the book of knowledge, the Vedas. They suggest that when you get up in the morning to utter this, "Let there be peace in the world, let there be peace in the heavens, let there be peace in hell, let all beings be happy and peaceful." I have picked this up from the Vedas itself, which dates back to 25,000 years ago. Yet by stating this, there has been no peace, or happiness. And still we speak every day. Even 25,000 years ago there was no peace. Peace and world do not sit together. Wherever there is world, there is confusion. But we wish well for the people because we don't want any harm for them which comes from speaking other things. So in the morning we meet and wish everybody peace. But it hasn't brought peace. People are as disturbed as they were 1,000,000 years ago. They haven't found peace. Everyone is disturbed. Just stay as you are and see how your mind runs. It can't stay quiet. So when we meet here, we are suggesting and working toward not caring for the mind. Let it run, for running away is the monkey habit of the mind. We can't hold it, but we can find where this monkey is coming from. This is a very novel method, and it is working. Quite a few people have done it, and this is the experience. When you search for the thought that has been turning you around and around to different species for millions of years, you are here, and you will see what can be done so that you will not enter into the vicious circle again. There is no method as suggested by religions, but simply find out where the thought is arising from. This is the number one question. When you see the beginning of this question, before even its source, you will recognize it and merge into that whatever it is. I don't even call it emptiness. But when you recognize that, you will merge into that as a river merges into the ocean. This will be the end of all running about, and this we can do in an instant of time. Then you will know that it is this instant in which the universe began 2 billion years ago. This is the instant where it has stayed for 2 billion years, and where it will stay for many more to come. And this instant has never existed. It is the same instant. If you don't inquire, it will keep going. But if you stop it, you will see that it never existed. Quite a few among us have tried this and found that nothing ever existed. When you dream you had a husband and 3 children, but when you wake up they are gone. But you remember your children and the thought is there, and this is called samsara. The remembrance of the past dream is samsara. Once a question was asked by a very good student to an excellent teacher. Master, you speak that everything is an illusion, but I see everything as real and solid. Can you be an illusion? Can I be illusion? Can the world be illusion? Master, please help me. I am confused. The master kept quiet, and then said, "Let us have a walk in the forest." After walking for a while, the master said, "It is very hot. You go down and get some water at that river there, and I will stay here in the shade." So the student goes and slides the vessel into the water of the river. He looked up and saw a beautiful young girl across the river. He immediately fell in love with her and proposed to marry her. "This is not the custom here. All the marriages are arranged by our parents," she said. "But I also like you, and so you must speak to my father. Come and follow me, and I will show you from a distance who my father is. He is the proprietor of the village. We have a lot of land, cows, and horses. So I will point him out and then hide behind the doors and see what he says." So they went to the village, and when they were near, she said, "That man sitting there, smoking a hookah and chewing pan is my father. Go and speak to him." He went there and said, "I saw your daughter 1 hour ago at the river and fell in love with her. Can you marry her to me?" The father said, "Who are you?" "I am a Brahmin from a nearby village." He replied, "What is your education?" asked her father. "I have learned philosophy, the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Shastras. I know astronomy, geology, and oceanography, and all the 8 sciences of the world." The father said, Very good. You look quite young and qualified. I don't hesitate to give the hand of my daughter to you, but with one condition. She is my only child, and I am very attached to her. So if you want to marry her, you must stay here with me, and you can't take her to your village." "Agreed," said the boy. "We will announce it to all our neighbors, and you will be married in 1 month," said the father. After a month they were married, and after 3 years they had 1 child. Then after 5 years the parents registered their will in the name of their son-in-law. Now all the village belonged to him. A couple of years later both her parents died, and after 10 years they had another child and then another. After 18 years there came a flood, and the river was rising. All the farms were destroyed, and they went to a nearby hill to stay, but slowly the water was rising there as well. The cows were floating away, and everything was destroyed. Finally the water came up to his shoulders, and he put 1 child on his shoulders and a child in one hand, and his wife and another child in the other. But the current was very strong, and his son slipped, and as he reached for him, the wife slipped, and as he went to hold the wife, the other son slipped away. So now, with everything lost, the river was receding. He just sits there at the edge of the river and cries about the loss of his children. Finally the river recedes until it is at the original level. He feels a hand on his shoulder, and his teacher asks, "What are you thinking about? Your vessel is in the water. Why don't you draw it? This should have taken you 1 minute, but already it has been 5 minutes. He looks at his face and stammers. 5 minutes, you say? Did you say 5 minutes? What about my wife, and what about the children?" The master replies, "This is the answer to your question. All this is illusion. Just now you came, and you fell in love with a girl. But where's that girl now? You are just fetching water for me. All these things are just coming from the mind. They never existed. No wife was there, no children were there, no marriage was performed, and no village was there. The mind creates an instant, and in that instant you lived nearly 20 years. In the same instant your vessel was immersed into the water. So this is how it stands, and you have to be wise." As the Buddha said, form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. This is what I say. There is no difference between emptiness and form. If form is there, there must be emptiness in which to see the form. There must be space in which all forms are seen. These forms are seen in nothingness, and so no form must be there when there is form. All of samsara, mountains, men, animals, and birds, whenever you see these forms, there must be formlessness. Otherwise you cannot see. To see form, you must be in emptiness. And what is form or no form? The same. I don't know how you can understand this, because for understanding you need the mind. So this must come by itself, and no understanding is needed. If it is your good luck, and if it doesn't, then it is your bad luck, because you will always continue your imaginations. How to get rid of the imagination that you see a snake in the dream or a tiger in the dream which is pouncing on you? You run away and climb the tree, but the tiger tries to climb the tree, and so you are in trouble, and finally the tiger reaches you and pulls you down, at which point you wake up. When you wake up, where's the tiger? And where are you? Somehow you must understand. There is no tiger and no fear, and you wake up as you are. Like this, you have not changed. Nothing has happened to you. There has been no samsara at all. There has been no samsara at all. This is the ultimate teaching. Some people here, though, feel that emptiness is greater than form. This seems to me that they are subtly deluded. In the longing for emptiness, they reject form. Form or no form, there is no difference. As Buddha speaks, samsara and nirvana is the same thing. So many that went to him were enlightened by Kashyap and Ananda, and so many others were also enlightened by the lineage as this teaching continued. Now, if you reject form, where will this form go? And what will you do? To reject something, you must accept something else. Both acceptance and rejection must be rejected. Reject both these thoughts. Neither accept or reject. At that level, who are you? There isn't me. So don't accept anything or reject anything, because when you accept something, you must reject something. And to reject something, you must accept something. Both are opposites. So don't reject or accept. Let everything be there. You have nothing to do with them. If you reject something, it must stay somewhere, and you will always carry this rejection, and you will say, I have rejected such and such thing. This will be more prominent than what you accepted. How can I be established in I am not the body? You are simply not the body, and there is nothing to be established in. Stay quiet and think at what time you got this body. Then you will look at the calendar and say that it was 1960 or 1970. These births and deaths are on the calendar. And if there is no calendar, then when were you born? To see when you were born, you must look at the birth of Christ. And from his birth, you count yours. You deal with someone else, and then calculations start. These calculations are the habit of mind. If you don't look at the birth and death of someone, you will see who you are. I have no peace in the waking state or the dream state or the sleep state. I have nowhere else to go. Can you help me? This is a very good experience. If you don't have any peace in these three states, you must go to the fourth state beyond these three. This is your heart. Come here and stay here. This can be done in any state. The activities of the body do not hinder the heart at all. Some people here are enjoying this state now. I know I am this heart, so how can water be thirsty? How can I want to be free? You have good merit to give you this experience. It reminds me of Kabir, who makes a good joke. How can the fish cry, I am thirsty, while living in the water? When opening the mouth to say this, the water is in her mouth. We are all living in the nectar of the self, and yet we all cry. We are suffering. Everybody is in divine grace. Grace is around everybody, inside and outside and everywhere. Yet we are not satisfied. So Kabir only laughs. He looks at the fish and laughs. You are not that crying fish. You have done it. You need nothing else. How can the body be a thought, and whose thought? Only when you think is there a body. Before exhalation or inhalation, there is no thought. Every 6 breaths, there is a pause. And if you are aware of it, you are enlightened. This I thought rises from there, in between inhaling and exhaling, and rises because you have some desire for a person or object. Also, when you sleep, you do not think and you do not see the body, because Maya Shakti drops away in the sleep state. But still you do not realize who you are, because Avarana Shakti remains. So the body is just a dream object, a thought. Inquiry is to find whose thought this is. You can stay in the dream with your dream body without generating thoughts and still do everything that life demands. keep a thought inside that I am always here, and then the body will simply act according to its reactions, and you will not be responsible for this because responsibilities and liabilities do not enter there. It is only when you are in relationship with other on account of your identifying as a body and ego that you are responsible. So wake up. After liberation, you will see that there is a point in which nothing exists and in which there is no existence either. Know the body is a transient thought and simply keep conscious of this point. This is called complete liberation. I know that I am not totally in sleep, but I know I am not awake either. It is good not to sleep. 4 persons do not sleep. One is a lover because he is not with his beloved. Another is a thief because he is out robbing houses. And a third is the sick man who is awake due to disease and pain. All these are awake to their desires, lust, greed, and suffering. But also the yogi does not sleep, for he is concentrating on when he will be free of this illusion. All the rest of the people are sleeping, even in the waking state. When you are going into the desert and you see a very beautiful river, and this is called the Mirage. Since you are thirsty, you want to go swim in it, and to drink the water from it. But the further you go toward it, the farther away it shifts. Now, however, you have known that it is only an illusion, a creation of the mind. The whole world is running toward this river to fulfill its desires. They're running fast for the last 2 billion years to have a swim in it. A few here and there have decided that they cannot reach it. They cannot fulfill their desires. They cannot remove their thirst. So it is better to stay here, wherever you are. When you decide this, it will rain from the skies, and this will be the rain of grace. You will not need to run anywhere because everything will be fulfilled here. Going there, you are sucked in by the heat and nobody is going to help you. But if you stay here, even the clouds will fall on you. So you have to be here and have no desire in your mind to even speak, and everything will be provided for you. Nothing is real. Whatever you see is not real. One day will come when you do not see object, and what was object will not see object either, because both are illusions. This is a special knowledge. There can be no knowledge without knowing that all is illusion. When you go back to the West, you can teach your children and friends what you learned in satsang. They will be very happy, and you will be a very good mother giving them right knowledge in childhood. They will be thankful to their mother. Why does the mirage keep arising? Where does it arise from? Nowhere. What can arise from nowhere? What is it if it arises from nowhere? What arises must arise out of somewhere, otherwise it could not have arisen. What is the mother of this I, of this illusion? Ego is the mother, and desire is the father. Don't have these parents, run away from them. Love is the best mother, and emptiness is the best father. Is it important to remember all the layers of the onion, or should you go beyond all the layers? There is no difference between the first, middle, and last layer of the onion. They all smell the same, so it is better to avoid everything. Don't even put the onion in your pocket because you will still smell. The whole onion smells and the center will be garlic, so don't touch it. Reaching the core of the issue is not to even utter the name of this onion. No name, no form. Drop this mind and you are in the cave, where the smell of the mind does not reach you. This cave has no layers, There is nothing outside and nothing inside. This is available to you if you do not think of the past onions. Don't think, and you are in the cave. To realize the self, you say the mind must be dropped. But how can the mind be separate from the self? Isn't mind a creative experience of life? You have to see something to drop it, just as you take off your locket before you swim in the ocean and drop it in your purse. How can you drop something that doesn't exist? It is only your concept. You need not drop the mind because it doesn't exist. Let it be there. It must be useful to you. Is the human form precious because it is the only way to realize the self? There is no form at all. It is a concept that there is a universe with men, animals, and birds. In this concept, you evolve over 35 million years to become a human. But most humans are not humans. They are just animals who have somehow disconnected their tails and walk on two legs like a gorilla. So the human incarnation is precious because you can have doubt and you can question. Who am I? A pig or donkey cannot ask this but are taken to the butchery of death. Everybody who is born must face a butcher, the god Yama, who will not leave any man unless they realize what he is. So it is the human birth which gives you the opportunity of who am I. But it is very rare. Of 6 billion humans, maybe only 60 know who they really are. Here in Satsang, we represent so many countries, but why such a few people have come? Not even 1% in a country knows who they are. If we want an example of an enlightened person, we must go back 2,600 years to Gautam, who became Buddha. But this is luck now. Satsang has made enlightenment easy. You don't have to meditate in Himalayan caves. You don't have to repeat mantras. You don't have to go on any pilgrimages. And you don't have to support any charities. Just spend a second out of your lifespan, and I guarantee that you are free. Do it this second. Why postpone? In ancient times, the kings would leave their kingdoms and go for penance. After penance, some Monica would come in front of them in the form of a beautiful woman, and there would end their penance. But here in Satsang, many Monicas are here, and they too are getting free. It is no problem to love with a Monica because enlightenment has to do with your own self, not physical contact with your own Monica. If Monica comes, live with her, but you remain untouched. Mind, the movement of illusion. Mind is Shakti, power. Manasa Rovar Devi. Use this power to find the origin of Shakti, which is Shiva, awareness being bliss. Simply be quiet, make no effort, start no thought, and look within. Mind is a tremendous power which causes all of manifestation to arise out of just a single thought, the I thought. When you don't look at this thought, it is all real. But when you look at it, manifestation vanishes. Mind is the drug which takes you out of your natural state and makes you trip in the realm of duality. Mind is the appearance of limited consciousness. Once consciousness is conditioned, it becomes the mind. And name and form is that imaginary conditioning. Only in the conditioning of the mind do we not know each other. You will know that you have always known each other when mind is empty and pure without ripples. The origin of the universe is centered on the I thought. if you forget the substratum of the I, and you get lost, and then I hangs around your neck like a noose, go to the origin of the I thought, and do not get lost in the magician's tricks. If you identify with the wave that moves in the emptiness, you will get lost. So let notions appear and disappear and stay as emptiness. Birth, death, and suffering are notions. They are not the ocean. You wear your mind like you wear your dress. Mind is that which is desire, is past, is graveyard, is name and form, is transience, is describable. I is a wave, is mind, is samsara, is desire, is arrogance, is wickedness, is confusion, is snake, is not rope, and is all of manifestation. Identifying yourself with I is identifying yourself with past and future. Cling to it and you will suffer, and be there stuck in it. Abandon it. Liberation. The creation of hells is the mind turned outward saying, I am the body. The creation of heavens is the mind turned inward knowing, the kingdom of heaven is within. Mind turned inward will see its source, and then never return because you stay with what you love most. As conditioned consciousness, mind is like the banks of a river. The notion of I am river dies when you realize the ocean of consciousness. All that you see is the 5 elements. Water washes away earth, fire evaporates water, air blows out fire, and air disappears into ether. All of this is mind, and mind is the I. Inside thought is called I, and outside thought is called space. But there is no difference. It is all mind, all self. I have some questions regarding mind. What is it? A bundle of thoughts. What is the substance of the mind? Show me the mind and I will tell you the substance. If you can't show me, then you don't have one. If you can't find it, leave it alone. How will it disappear forever? First of all, it is not there. If it is not appearing, how will it disappear? Mind is only your desire. When desire is there, then your mind is there. When you don't have desire, there is no mind at all. There is no difference between mind and desire. To test this, don't have any desire in the moment. Every desire belongs to the past. So don't desire for one instant of time and tell me who you are. Nothing. Nothingness is a very good mother. Stay with her and you will find her love and beauty. Don't you need a mind to function in the world? When you were not in the world, all this business was there and it will continue after you go. You have no effect on its continuity and your body and mind are part of this continuity. It will run. It has been running and endlessly it will be running. You can't stop it or change it because it is all imagination. It is like a river of the Mirage which moves farther away from you the more you move toward it. You don't get any water, and on the contrary, you get more fatigued. But a wise man doesn't run after a mirage, and this samsara is a mirage. Who is satisfied with the samsara? Everybody is thirsty, and thinks that samsara will quench their thirst. But the thirst stays because the samsara is a mirage. The rare one will know this, and sit quietly under the tree and enjoy it. If I am the non-doer, who is the doer? Your mind. Your thought, I want to do it, I want to have it, I am attached to this. This is the trouble. You are not the doer. The doer is the intention in your mind of need. Don't give rise to any intention, including enlightenment and peace, for only 1 second and see what happens. You will be beautiful. I offer this to everyone constantly, but nobody accepts it and they only jump to their next question. You should say, stop, but you depend on the past, because all these questions are from the past. You have had them in your mind, so when you are happy, give up everything like the enlightened kings did. One king was sleeping on the roof of his palace in the summertime. He was sandwiched between his 2 queens. What luck! Then he looked up at the full moon as 2 birds flew by it and twittered. He rose up naked and left the palace because he had to stay with the beauty of the instant, the beauty that the queens and the palace, the kingdom, and the diamonds could not provide. He disappeared into the forest. So once you have it, reject everything else, because all you need is this love, this beauty. When this happiness comes, don't reject it. This we learn from the prince who became Buddha. He went and sat under the Bodhi tree and found it due to his intense desire. He rejected all that was, and now, 2,600 years later, we still remember him because he was beautiful. We don't even remember our fathers and grandfathers, but we remember him. Dreams, the nature of illusion. Papaji, I had the experience that everything is within me, that there is no outside. This is a very good experience. Suppose you are living on the 20th story of an apartment building and you are sleeping. Then you dream of a wild elephant coming at you. You also see mountains and rivers and forests. Where are all these things? Are they outside? No, they are inside projections of your mind. First, the space has to be projected, inside and outside. And then time is projected. The ego is projected next, and you start believing that what you see is real. But as soon as you wake up, the elephant and everything else disappears. In the very same way, this waking reality will also disappear when you wake up. This reality will disappear. Your dreams are as real as anything else, though this waking state looks more real. Therefore, your experience is a very beautiful one. I also had a dream where Vishnu and Shiva came to me 5 times. It was all about dissolving karma, and I woke feeling very different. The first time, Shiva came to remove your concept of physicality, the waking state, because nothing is physical. The second visit was to remove your imagination, the dream state, where nothing is reality. The third visit was to remove the transient bliss and emptiness, the sleep state. The fourth visit removed the fourth state, the Turiya state, the Sahasrara and Agna chakras. The fifth visit was the last because then there is nothing to be seen. Can we be awake and dreaming at the same time? When you are dreaming, it is not possible to be awake. Some people are asleep in the dream and some are awake. Some people tell others, "Now it is daytime, look at the sun." In the dream, some are awake and some are sleeping. Yet those who are awake in the dream also are sleeping. Their wakefulness depends on their wakefulness because when you are awake, everybody is awake. So wake up yourself and everybody will wake up. Who has created mothers and daughters in the dream? They are there because you are dreaming. In this sleep there is a dream, but you must wake up from this waking and dreaming process. No, I am awake. But even if you say I am waking and I am dreaming, still you are sleeping. You are not yet awake. Wake up to your own true self, where there is no waking, no dreaming, or sleeping. Beyond all that, this state is called the fourth state, the Turiya state. In the West, they think there are only two states, waking and dreaming. There is no sleep as they have seen on the EEG. A team of psychologists came to Rishikesh from America and tested many swamis, from Sivananda Ashram to Mahesh Yogi Ashram. They came to make graphs of the thoughts, and no swami was silent in Rishikesh. One swami offered himself and was found that he was not quiet even for a millionth of a second. After this, 90% of the students left him, except for those who were paid to stay. This is the result. Freedom has no face. Don't look to any face, not even your face. Look at the facelessness as you do when you sleep. So always sleep when others are awake, and stay awake when others sleep. This is facelessness. Why do my night dreams constantly change, but not this world dream of the waking state? They both change. The difference is that while in the dream you don't say that it is changing. Only when you wake up can you see that it changes from one dream to another. The waking state dream also changes. Today is different than tomorrow or yesterday. This state is real only because you call it real and have this conviction of its reality. But during a dream you don't call a dream a dream. Only when you wake up can you say that it was a dream. In the night dream, you see rivers, mountains, people, and relations. In this dream you see the same thing, so how can you call one real and the other unreal? You have the conviction of reality, and so you call it real. But if you call it a dream and have this conviction, it will be a dream. You don't look at the dreamer, who also is your own creation. The dreamer is different than the dream, so now find out who is the dreamer. The dreamer and the dream objects are all the same. Now find out who dreamed, who is dreaming. Find the me who has dreamed. Find this now, and waking, dreaming, and sleeping will disappear. What you call reality is not reality. What can we learn from our dreams? Learn that this is the nature of the illusion. Learn that all name and form is a transient imaginary dream that you must wake up from. Papaji, I had such a powerful dream last night. Can you speak about dreams? Thank you very much. There were 10 killers in my dreams. Dreams can tell you that something is going to happen, as the clouds tell you that there will be rain. Dreams also tell you what has happened because they are the activities which are unfulfilled in the waking state. For instance, if you are slapped in the waking state, you will seek revenge in the dream state. Actually, truly speaking, everybody is dreaming because they have not spent their waking state in a peaceful state. If they had, they would not appear again in the dream called samsara. Everybody in samsara has dreamt a lot and has collected millions of lifetimes worth of memories in their mind. Now they can't stop it. You can stop it, though, if you have a burning urge for freedom and if you have very good luck. Then you will see a master who will tell you the difference between a dream and the waking state. Then you will see that all are sleeping and you are awake. Sleeping is being unaware of your true self. Wakefulness is being awake to reality, consciousness, truth. What others are awake to, you sleep to. They are awake to lust, interests, persons, concepts. Have nothing to do with these things. Sleep with them. This is the difference between wakefulness, sleeping, and dreaming. The killers in your dream are the senses. Eyes deceive you. Whatever you hear is of no use, what you smell is no good, and so with touch and taste. But if you know this, the senses lose their strength. If you know the objects of your eyes are not real, then they won't affect you. Whether you hear praise or blame, it won't matter. There won't be any difference between perfume and rotten things. When you know who you are, you become very strong, and these killers, these enemies, will lose their strength. Now complete your work. The sooner the better. Just stay quiet. Whatever happens is perfect. It is the unending game of the one who was here before the beginning. It is the dream of the Creator. It is the magic of the enjoyer, in whose dream we are objects. When your love brings you very close to Him, He will give you the same techniques, and you also will enjoy. Then you will not question what is happening. The waves of the ocean ask the questions as they rise, travel, and fall. But the ocean, the substratum of the waves, is resting and enjoying his own activity. Yet he knows he is not active. All those who have understood this will remain quiet as if nothing has ever happened. Karma, the script of the illusion. The doer must pay for his actions. This is karma. No doer is no karma. And this is freedom. Memory is the storehouse of this karma. Each impression in your mind is an incarnation. Millions of thoughts are equal to one eye. Reincarnation, as governed by karma, happens to you when you do not know that you are consciousness, because anything else is imagination, and this imagination has no beginning or end. Reincarnation is in the mind only. How can that which is never born be reborn? What is the relation between the Absolute and the perfection of destiny? The Absolute has nothing to do with destiny. Destiny is the reactions of your karma and is not fixed by the Absolute. Whatever you do creates fruit for tomorrow, and tomorrow it is called destiny. Today's actions are tomorrow's destiny. Today you earn $100 and put it in your pocket and go to sleep. The next day you see $100 in your pocket from yesterday. This $100 is called the destiny of yesterday's work. Like this, all the karma or actions that you committed last life are brought into this life by you in your own pocket. You cannot change them. Are active decisions just an illusion? Is it all controlled by destiny? All the saints, sages, and wise ones in India say that everything is predestined. You can't make any decision by yourself. Ramana Maharshi also believes this. Once a German professor asked this same question to Ramana, who said that even the question about predestiny is predestined. So everything is predestined? Yes, sun will rise, sun will set. As orange trees will grow oranges and apple trees will grow apples, so all beings move through the dream exactly as destined. You can't change it. Everything is predestined, there is no doubt. Even an ant cannot walk without its step being predestined. This secret will come to you when you have light. But when you force things to happen your way, then you suffer. Things happen as they happen, so do not imagine that they have to happen a certain way. Everybody wants their own will to be done, but when you surrender to the divine, you have no cause to worry. Depend on the will of the mother. Where she goes, you go. When she suckles you, suck the milk. Instead of doing this, most people get involved in circumstances. Is it true that destiny can be altered by the Guru's grace and by chanting mantras? The Guru's grace can do anything. It can alter destiny also. This grace is also predestined. What use is sadhana, then, to obtain freedom? This sadhana also is predestined. If it is all predestined, why does the Guru get angry sometimes when we make mistakes? You make so many mistakes, but I never get angry with you. In everybody there is anger, but you must express it only on yourself for your misbehavior. There is no other way that anger is to be used. Do you understand? Okay, everything is predestined. Your coming here is predestined. Those who do not come here are predestined not to. Is liberation due to prarabdha karma? No. Liberation has nothing to do with your karma. Karma occurs when you are sleeping and have desires for other objects. When there is liberation, there is no prarabdha. Prarabdha is for those who are sleeping, not for those who are awake. When you dream, so many things come in front of you. But when you sleep, all these things vanish. In sleep, there is no person and no object and no desire. All desire comes when you are dreaming or when you are awake. Therefore, there is no difference between waking and dreaming. In sleep, though, nothing exists, only bliss, love, beauty. Where do you get this love from? From the absence of desire. Then you are happy. You can learn how not to have any desire so that you will be happy in all the states, waking, dream, and sleep. By sleeping when others are awake, you can be without desire. When they sleep, you keep awake. This waking state is a sleep state because people are not happy because they do not know who they are. So question to yourself, who am I? And all that you desire will vanish. Keep this question in your mind all the time, whether you're sitting, standing, or walking. Inquire into the source of where these desires come from. This is not different than sleeping to the desires. If whatever happens is predestined, is our reaction to this free will or destined? What is your reaction to a slap in the face? Things just happen. There is no question of destiny or of free will. Things just happen, and you are just one of those things. All is a dream and is known to be a dream only when you are awake. All forms, all two-ness is falsehood. How to understand this? Wake up from this dream and you will know free will and destiny. Free will is used by very few people. In satsang you will know that all is illusion. Then you are a witness and are beyond dream and suffering. You will get a third eye, a single eye, to see the illusion from a perfect man who will open it. Two eyes lead you to untruth and form. To see formlessness, the third eye must open. Sit quiet for a moment, and you will know what truth is. Look at what stirs in your mind, and find where this concept rises from. Look at that point. Then you will see something which is unbelievable, and which will fulfill all your desires. So even the freedom of choice to choose right and wrong in the moment is predestined? You have no freedom of choice because you are freedom itself. You have no choice to be free or not to be free because you are always freedom. Choice is illusion because only freedom is. The who that would choose and the choices to be chosen are all concepts in mind. The one in the heart of all beings, even the beings yet to be conceived and born, directs all karma to be done. Find who created the universe in his thought only. All beings are concept in his mind. Nothing has ever been done, and there is nothing to do. Find who you are a concept of. You dream of climbing a mountain and resting, but when you wake up there is no mountain, no climbing and no rest. But you have performed this activity. It is all a dream, and all your responsibilities, liabilities, and activities are just illusion in the dream, like a mirage in a dream desert, like an imaginary diver taking an imaginary dive into imagination. Stop chasing the mirage and wake up. Even the thirst which drives you to the mirage is a mirage, is imagination. Wake up and know that peace is within. Then your illusion will vanish, disappear. I see honest people suffering so much while so many dishonest people flourish. Why is this? Why are the honest punished and the dishonest rewarded? This is an obstacle to total surrender for me. It is true. Innocent people often suffer and the dishonest people hurt the public and flourish. This is due to the desire of some to fill up their cup of sin faster in order to enjoy the fruits of their merits. Look at Ravana. He would spoil the yagnas of the righteous all over India and steal all the beautiful women and make them join his harem. The result of this is that he could build his houses and much of Lanka out of gold. He had no care for anyone and troubled everyone. He even kidnapped the wife of Rama. Rama was in exile and he was already suffering. Rama is God, and he was suffering. By uttering his name, you won't be reborn, but he himself was in a lot of trouble, and Ravana gave him more misery. Rama was in exile due to the trickery of one of his father's wives. His father was the king, and at Rama's coronation as the next king, the youngest queen asked for previously promised boon to be granted by Rama's father. The boon was to have Rama sent into exile so her son could be king. The king was bound to agree, and soon after he sent Rama to the forest. He died from being separated from him. This king's name was Dharasarata, and the whole country suffered because of this. But in the end, look what happened. Ravana was killed, and today we still repeat Rama's name, though he lived 7,600 years ago in this state, not far from here. So many saints had a lot of trouble during their life. But sometimes extreme suffering is inflicted on the innocent bystanders. What appears to be innocent bystanders? What do you mean? Is such suffering random, or is it prarabdha karma? How would an enlightened being view such expression of karmic law? This question deals with total consciousness. If I speak that it is prarabdha karma, it is what is normally believed. I will explain in two ways. First, whatever you do becomes prarabdha. Whatever happens now is due to the past. Some portion of the past has been attended to, but some portion is left. What happens now is the balance of your previous activity. But actually, there is no prarabdha karma. Actually, you have done something previously, but nobody knows. If you believe in the stories of the Upanishads, there is one story that is pertinent. There once was a saint living quietly in the forest near a Muslim village. One day a cow came running into his hut, and a few minutes later a man came by and asked if the saint had seen the cow that he was going to butcher. The saint said yes, and pushed the cow out of his little hut and gave it to the butcher. This is a happening, and it just happened. The next life the saint again became a saint because he did nothing else. He decided to go to the village of Pandapur in Maharashtra, where there is a very good statue of Lord Vital. On his way, about 10 kilometers before the temple, a very strong storm came and he couldn't see which way to go. A man living nearby invited him in and told him he could spend the night there, and the next day he could continue on to the temple. The saint agreed to this compassionate and generous offer. This man, though quite old, had a very beautiful young wife who quickly fell in love with this pure boy, and expressed to him that she wanted to run away with him. "No, I am a sadhu. I never touch any woman." "But I have fallen in love with you. Let's run away. I have collected all my gold ornaments, and it will be enough for us," she said. "No, I cannot stay with you," said the young man. "I am going to Lord Vital. You are already married, and if you go away, your husband will be in great pain." So she went to the house and killed her husband, and threw him into the well. Then she said, "Now I have no husband. Now come with me." The saint was astonished and absolutely refused, and so the woman went out onto the road and started crying that this man had killed her husband and was going to steal all the gold. People and police came and took him to the magistrate. The woman told her story about this stranger to the village magistrate. The judge was baffled. Since a crime had been committed, the magistrate decided that there must be punishment. But since there was no witness, he decided it could not be death, and so he had the hands of the innocent young saint cut off. The saint then continued to Lord Vital, who then appeared before the boy and said, "Ask any boon. Kuch mangalo marai sai." The saint said, "I am very happy with you. I have always worshipped you. My tongue has never uttered any other name, and my hands have never committed any crime. They have only clapped the rhythms of songs in your praise. Lord, if you are gracious, tell me why these hands which only worship you have been cut." The Lord said, "Look at Devadarshan before you and see what happened in the previous life." The saint saw the previous story of the cow, the butcher and the saint, and he saw the cow is the wife. The butcher is the husband, and he is the saint. The cow had to take revenge on the husband who had killed her. That action and reaction now is over. His own hands had to be cut because he had pushed the cow out of his hut, which had come to him seeking protection. So it is with prarabdha. Nobody knows the root of what happens in the present life. We only see what is happening now. All karma must be undergone. You can't lift a step by yourself. So surrender to the one who knows what must be done. So can we learn from our past lives? You can learn that human birth is very rare and very precious, and it is not to be wasted. Throughout millions of years you have gone through the 8 million species, and now you are human, the species where enlightenment is most possible. Is past life therapy or repression helpful? With this therapy, one is taken to the past to some event which is the apparent cause of present psychological disturbances. I don't reject this, but here what is told is to not go to the past. Mind is past, and you should not go to the past with it, but bring it to the present where its effects are weak. This presence is satsang. I don't understand reincarnation. What gets reincarnated? No answer will satisfy you unless you see for yourself the roots of the tree whose branches are this present, reincarnation of yours. What is reincarnated is any thought or desire unfulfilled. This you can't avoid. If you don't have a thought, you are free. Otherwise, you will have to reincarnate to fulfill your desires again and again. Your desire will take form into that person who will help you to fulfill the desire. Do you have a vision of spirituality of humanity in this point of history? I do not have a vision or a view, but trust. I trust that this spiritual evolution of humanity is not a history, but a mystery. Unless you see that it is a mystery, you're not a teacher and you cannot teach. As a history, it is not a mystery, but you cannot understand. The mystery is very mysterious and secret. It is secret and sacred. Will Westerners have a specific role? Definitely the Westerns have a specific role, and they are playing it the best they can. What has been taught for thousands of years in India is no longer wanted by our people. Indians want things of the West, and therefore they are going to the West to fulfill their desires, their Western desires. Spiritual desires will be fulfilled by spiritual people who want truth to be realized. So therefore the desire for freedom herself has gone to the West. The very beautiful girl from India has come to those who have gone in this lifetime to the West to fulfill their desires. This is why the Westerners are here. They know what is beauty. All the physical beauties they have seen and have been kicked in the back by all of them. So now they are here for something else which will not kick them in the back, but hug them. Papaji, how to be in this illusion? How can we live in the illusion skillfully and be free of its traps of suffering? Don't forget who you are. We are alive in the world because we have not yet completed our work. Know thyself.